So I'm waiting for my good friend Miranda to jump on here. I know she under the weather, so she may I don't know. Oh, there she go right there. Okay, there she go. There she go.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
Good
brother.
morning.
What's up?
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How is it up there, your neck of the woods?
In Ohio, cold as what? But it's it is what it is.
You're used to it already, right?
It's nothing we can control. It is what it is. I like it. Don't control it. Yeah, it's probably about 20 degrees right now. Feel like maybe 10.
Yeah, that's it starts to bite the skin.
Yep. I can
Yeah,
look.
I can have that.
I can feel the breeze coming through this window right here. It's down at my feet.
Yeah, I can have that weather.
Well, you know what I tell people? The good thing is about it, it keeps all the bugs, small, because it kills a lot of bugs. If you got any, we don't have those problems. We don't have crocodiles and anything like that, and lizards and hurricanes. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, before we start, Robert, I want to say thank you, man, for everything that you do. It's a blessing to have you in my life, and you showing me the ropes in CDLP and in business, and I appreciate you, man. From the bottom of my heart, I want to wish you, your family, a very happy, healthy, and prosperous new year coming up, and looking forward to, man, the next year, hitting it hard with you guys.
Absolutely, brother. No, I appreciate that. We love getting this in. Love doing this. Love helping everybody as much as we can. And thanks for being coachable. Because we love those examples. We love seeing people get on here and rev up and get moving, and then go from somebody that's, hey, I want to work this space, to becoming a testimonial, being able to speak on things that they've learned on the call and get better. Because that's really what it's about for everybody. So we appreciate that. Definitely Merry Christmas to your family as well, and everybody on here. You guys have a happy holiday. And if y'all taking any trainings with me, y'all know I believe in naps and breaks as much as how it works. So your family, if you're visiting your family, you got the family deal going on. Spend some time with your family, but break that thing up so that you get some work done, you get some family time done, and you have some great quality of life. So I hope you guys are learning that, because over the last 10 or 15 years. I've definitely transitioned from being on the grind to, understanding that there's definitely a work-life balance that you have to follow, unless you're planning on, dying early, or your family not liking you much. That's not good either way, right? So no, man, appreciate that, George. Appreciate you being with us and being willing to be a testimony and speak up at times so that they hear other than just from trainers on this call. And that goes to everybody who's jumped in and helped. I know Anthony Norris has done that sometime as well. I know we call on different people to ask them to speak up and say things. And we definitely appreciate you all who jump on here and do that, because we know it takes a lot of courage and a lot of confidence to jump on the call when you got 40 some odd people and just kind of spill your heart out and let us know what you're doing. So what we're going to be talking about today, I look like Sharanda's camera's on, but she's muted. I'm trying to find her, but I can't find her. Sharanda, where you at? Let me see. Where you at? Let me see if I can get her over here. First screen. There she go. All right, gotcha. So what we're going to be talking about today, guys, is going to be a little bit of action planning as it comes to you moving forward next year. So we may ask, a couple of general questions for you to answer in the chat about where your action plan is at, but what are you planning? Because it's that time of the year now, guys. Holiday season is coming up. There's only a few days left in this year to get anything done, especially when you talk about enrollments. I know there's always some magical person involved in business solutions that's doing enrollments on the 24th, 26th, and 29th of the year, but that's not most of us. Most of us going out and doing an enrollment right now that's pretty much come to a cease at this point, unless you got some regularly scheduled enrollments for companies that's maybe weekly or something like that. So you should definitely be planning on what you're going to do next year, right? You know, how are you going to turn your business around for next year? What are you going to ramp up? So we're going to talk about that today, because action planning is part of having activity. And I know that there's people on this call, on this Zoom, that's like, man, I want to talk about CDLP. And we are going to talk about CDLP, but you got to understand that we've got to talk about the plan. Because if there is no plan, there is no doing, right? You got a plan to make a call. You got a plan to prospect. You have to plan to do all of these things. And the how-tos to doing that, there's only so much conversation you can have, right? There's only a few ways to research. There's only a few ways to find companies, right? There's only a few ways to make a phone call. So there's only so much of that we can talk about, but what's got to be done is there's got to be an action plan. There's got to be, hey, new year is coming in. How am I going to develop my business so that I do better in 2023 than I did in 2022? And there's some steps in order for everyone to be able to do that. So we're going to talk about that here today. But first, we're going to get started with our introduction. So I'm going to turn it over to Sharon to do her introduction first. And hello to everybody on YouTube as well. So I know you guys are here, so I don't want to forget about you all.
I might start coughing, so can you hear me?
How you doing, Sharanda? Hear you loud and clear.
Well, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. So I'm Sharanda Ivy out of Byron, Georgia. Been with Legal Shield like 9.5 years. 50K ring earners, CDLP certification trainer, field trainer of the year for the company 2019 and 2021. Last year recognized as #2 group opener. We did a lot of amazing things in the small business space as well. But in this division of the company, we've written over 1,000 personal memberships. So we have the Achievement App Award. I don't know, let's see what else. So choosing this as my major, my minor, definitely focus on helping this industry and supporting other associates definitely to reach their goals in this space. I host the accountability call on Thursday nights, more like a mastermind group. Those individuals have done amazing this year. And so with that, but I learned it from this space, doing this exact thing on Monday nights on a conference call for many, many years. So for those that are tapped in now, I think we're going to talk about, the upcoming year. So, just one year I decided that this was going to be my focus. So I hope you guys do that too, and stick and stay and commit to the process, because it's a journey. But this is one thing that we know, if we prospect here by doing the things that we've been taught by the trainers. Not that our other plans, don't matter, but they do. But this plan here actually keeps an individual employed and insurable. So it's a big deal for them to have something that we offer with this CDLP plan, because it's a matter of them having a career or not. So just keep that in mind when it comes to this space. Most, you see actors, they die without wheels. So that lets you know that even though it's important, the richest people don't think so. But every day somebody has to eat and feed their family. And this plan that we offer here absolutely does that for an individual. So if you keep that in mind, you'll come with a different perspective. So over to you, Dunbar. We need some volume from you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Veronica, we don't need the Weather Channel tonight, Veronica. It's cold everywhere. We don't need the forecast. It's the CDLP call. Stay focused. Stay focused. Thank you for the
So,
update. Stay focused.
Robert Dunbar, been with the company for going on 14 years. I've been a trainer for going on 8 years. Trained in different areas for Legal Shield, 100K ring earner, 250K ring earners on my team. Golden App Award, several other awards for doing different things on networking side, business solution side, all of that different stuff. But really, for me, the niche training market for Legal Shield has been CDL, because I feel like the people the people who wanted to take part in this space were undertrained because it just wasn't enough training going on other than certification training. So we thought that it would be great to have a weekly training where we can get together and talk about what's happening in this industry, because it is definitely a different industry than doing regular group with regular businesses. So there's a lot more to it, a lot more research that needs to be done, and a lot more preparation. The language is also different as well. So this is where we do this at here. So we wanted to make sure that you guys all have somewhere to plug into. So that's my quick introduction before we get started. And we are going to go into a few different things today. And first, before I get started talking, because I always start talking, I'll be going for 20, 30 minutes, and Sharon to be over there just part of the audience, not able to say nothing because I don't shut up. So I'm gonna start with Sharanda this week and just say, so we're gonna be talking about action planning. I know she talks about this quite a bit, and I know y'all probably have had some conversations on the Thursday night call as well, which is the accountability call. So for all those that have accountability partners, you probably are having those conversations. Sharanda had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about her and her partner Donna doing a plan, do review. So for those that I am on other spaces with, y'all know that I've asked everybody that I do anything with, that I've trained with, talked to, that one of your goals for 2023 needs to be to get an accountability partner, right? You want an accountability partner. That is a major, major, major thing. That will boost your 2023 alone, just having somebody that will hold you accountable and that you can hold accountable, having that bartering system that you can work and have somebody accountable with you. So that's one of the things I would say should be at the top of your list to do that. But Sharanda Ivy is going to give you some things that you should be looking to plan for 2023. I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to, somewhat, a couple of bullet points, create some type of an action plan going into 2003, some things to think about as you're starting the year so you can write out. Because remember, when you're having that conversation with yourself, it's just a passing conversation with your brain, right? So that means that if anybody's married or has a significant other, you know that if you walk by them and say something that is not really clear communication, it's a passing conversation. You need to really get that person's attention. The same thing with your brain. When you just have daydreaming type conversations about what you want, what goals you want to hit, how you want your new year to be, that's a passing conversation unless you sit down, write it out, and communicate that to your brain directly. So that's why writing these things down is going to be so very important for action plans and for getting your 2023 better. So Sharanda, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about what you would like to talk about when it comes to action planning for the new year.
So this time of the year, me personally, I kind of reflected on the year before, 2 weeks before I start reflecting around September on what I want, next year to look like. And, around Thanksgiving, I kind of have put it down on paper. And, of course, it always changes. But one thing I've learned over the years is definitely to do a plan, do review. My mentors, Amelia's, we talk about that all the time. You got to look back on what you did. Tracking is good. So I hope someone, everybody has some type of system, some type of how you keep up with your calls, just the activity you're doing and always build upon. One thing that I used to find is that I used to make these big audacious goals, because we talk about goal setting and things like that. But with the goal setting, I had to learn how to be realistic and stop, I guess, looking to the right and looking to the left, because, you know, Dunbar goals may be one thing, and, you know, Melissa goals may be one thing. And then here I am in the middle, and I'm looking at Melissa and I'm looking at Dunbar, and I'm thinking, well, let me, you know, kind of adjust my numbers because of what I'm hearing them say, or, you know, just not thinking about truly what I'm doing. But what I learned to do is I actually learned to, and my tracking isn't perfect, you know what I'm saying? But I can tell you an average. I can tell you an average of how many calls I make. I can tell you an average of how many groups I open. I can tell you an average of how many sales I have a month. And because over time it becomes a pattern. So I can tell you my average. So I had to start making my goals realistic to what my average was, what I was doing. And instead of thinking I can jump this month from making Performance Club to qualifying for platinum, you know, the next year, when I wasn't doing activity to hit platinum, or I haven't proven to myself, I mean, like if I'm PC, my next goal should be PC Pro, you know, and if you're a senior associate, you know, what's the goal to get to manager and those type things. If you haven't opened one group, maybe you need to make more dials, have more decision maker appointments. Like we have to do the steps instead of throwing out these big numbers, because a lot of times what I've found is that after we come out of the big January kickoff, by the time we hit convention, we pooped, we bombed. We're looking for the next high. We're looking for the next, what's going to motivate me to go into this next quarter. You know, but if you stay consistent and build realistic goals and build upon just a little bit, be a, what they say, 1% better, you know, it'll be easier to hit your goals. Because sometimes I think we throw ourselves out making those unrealistic goals. So we need to make smart goals. So if this year you didn't hit PC every month and you did a couple of months, look back at your calendar and see what that activity was like and say, okay, I know I got to do this so I can at least make PC. And when you get the feeling of what PC activity look like, then you build upon that and say, okay, if I can do some more, maybe I can close to get PC Pro. So maybe you weren't getting a lot of decision-making appointments. Maybe you weren't talking to a lot of people. So now you have to ask yourself, am I doing the research to get qualified prospects, or I'm just calling people and having suspects and I'm having to weed through it because I'm not taking the time to actually research the company to get the information I need to have to set an appointment to make show the value proposition when you talk to the decision maker, or you even get into the decision maker. So what are your skill sets to, what's your pitch to get past the gatekeeper, if it's a gatekeeper, or what's your pitch to hold the owners, on the phone long enough to hear what you have to say, to want to talk to you, to set an appointment. So sometimes we have to work on our skill set to make the numbers more. So with all that, that's what I found, but all that came from plan, do, review. You know what I'm saying? And, as we say, we have to be honest with ourselves. So y'all show up, 32 people have showed up at a minimum average, 52 weeks. So you done your plan, do, review, because you're getting ready to go in that holiday mode. Next week, we're going to be with our families, and we're not going to be thinking about truck drivers and things like that. So next time you see us, it's going to be the new year. And we don't want nobody in the chat saying, I'm trying to figure out what my goal is going to be this year. We're already in the year. So you're already late. Trying to get ready. So If you haven't planned do review, take some time. It's not a long project, so don't make it a term paper. Just take some time and plan do review. I mean, just have a talk with yourself. Have an office staff meeting with yourself and see what you did with yourself. And see, do you deserve to close shop on Friday, or do you need to work a little bit on Friday? You know, do you need to work a little bit on Monday since you celebrated on Sunday? You need to get up a little early before the family start playing the games and do a little research. There's no blitz next week either, so are you going to create a blitz to close out the month? Or you just going to call it quits and jump on into 2023? Free Willy. So just think about it. Plan do review is very important. You'll be surprised when you look at, you think, wow, I made this month and I sold that. Like, what was different? Oh, I went to conference and I learned this at the B2B breakout. And I just started to do that one little thing, that one thing. But it worked that month and we didn't do it the next month. So we have to be consistent. So I'm talking to me too. It's been a rough year, but you know what? We always get next year. So you got to plan to review that you're not going to repeat the things that happen. And for those things that you can't control, you're going to find a way to be able to deal with that. Because life's going to happen to us all. So you got to prepare for that too. So I had to put that in my plan to review. I do that. So that's it for me right now, Dunbar.
Okay, let me see. You can hear me, Sharanda?
I can.
All right, good stuff. So I want to start with your comment on tracking, on having a tracking system. So I've said this a number of times in trainings from 2018 and 19, from when I was traveling and training, that you cannot increase or decrease what you do not track, right? Mm-hmm. Cannot increase or decrease what you do not track. So it's so very important to understand that if you don't have a tracking system, how are you going to 2023 and get better if you do not know what you did in 2022? And I'm not talking about the big stuff. I didn't open any groups, so I'm going to open one next year, right? I didn't make any calls, I'm going to make some next year. I'm not talking about that general, that big. I'm talking about specifically, like, you need to know your ratios. You need to know your conversion rates. You need to know how much business needs to be called on to know how much business needs to be written. Those are all things that you have to track and document if you plan on those things getting better. So having a tracking system is going to be so important going into the new year, along with accountability partners. So if you guys can write some things down, right? One, make sure that you have an accountability partner. Two is going to be make sure you have some kind of tracking system, whatever you're going to use to track what you're doing, right? You can use a calendar. You can use some kind of software to track what you're doing. You can just use the old-fashioned, just use your numbers, right? I'm making 20 calls a day, and I'm closing this many groups a month, or I'm getting this many people on the line. Whatever you need to track to see what's happening with your business when you make X amount of phone calls.
Let me jump in right there. Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there before you go through those. So you talked about accountability partner. You just went through what to track. One thing I will say when it comes to accountability partners, first of all, you really need to, and you may go through some, right? Like your first one might not be, y'all might not stick and stay long. But what he just talked about was tracking. Those are some of the things your accountability partner should be keeping you accountable for. I mean, y'all can talk about, who playing in the World Cup and all like that. Like you can do that briefly, or have a day where y'all really connect with each other. Because, you know, if it's all work and no play, you know, you might get tired talking to your accountability partner, because some days might not be the best days. But he just went through a line of things of what to track. And those are the things that you need to share with your accountability. Whatever your weakness is, accountability is being held accountable for. So if you give up on yourself saying, I'm gonna make $10 today, and you end up making $2, and then you gotta be honest with yourself. Like, if you're gonna have an accountability partner, you're gonna tell lies every day, you cheating yourself. Because you gotta remember, and this was always taught to me in solutions, numbers do not lie. You can talk the best game, but numbers do not lie. And it's gonna come up. So if you're gonna lie to your accountability partner, you might need to stick and stay hanging out by yourself, you, yourself, and I, that y'all be buddies. But like what he talked about, like what he's fixing to go into and what tracking is, if some of that is your weakness, have your accountability partner say, hey, I really wanna make $10 this week. And I really want to talk about my dollars. You know, you don't know how important that is when you can talk to somebody about, hey, I said this, what you think? How did that sound? Doing that type of accountability really helps you grow. Not saying, hey, I made $5. That's all I made. You made. Make it worth your while. Have this person coach you like you coach them. Everybody learning together. Nobody's above no one. You know, I learn from all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Something you say, I promise you, helps me. But you got to understand what the process is. And if nobody shares that with you, you'll always do it wrong. You'll never know what it looks like. And that's the thing, what a lot of our problem is, nobody took the time to say what it should look like. So what Dunbar is going over, some of the things maybe your accountability partner can help you be accountable for in the process of you tracking. So I just want to say that, Dunbar.
No, that's good. That's good. So what I want everybody to do when it comes to, because something else you just said again, right? You talk about tracking and you're saying maybe that's a weakness, so your accountability partner should hold you accountable. So I'm in a mastermind group with some people that I like, Jeree, Anthony Norris, like some other people that are here, Jackie Hamilton, whoever else that I can't see right now that's in that group. And we talk about, right, self-development versus personal development, because I know some people think that's the same thing. And personal development is developing personally, and that's all great stuff. But the self-development is personally developing too. The difference is when it's self-development, you are taking control and responsibility for what books and what training and learning material you pick up to strengthen your weaknesses or to deal with a challenge that you may have. So let's go to that weakness that Sharanda said you may have. If tracking is one of the top priorities to understand if you're trying to grow a business, if you want to stand still, right? If you're a manager and you want to stay at manager, don't track nothing. You can't fall out of manager, so don't worry about that, right? If you want to stay a director, you don't have to track nothing because you can't fall out of director. You don't have to worry about it. But if you want to move to another level, if you want to hold on to Performance Club, if you want to go from Performance Club to Performance Club Pro, if you want to win the trip, if you want to hit executive, if you want to do whatever it is that's an advancement in this business, tracking should be at the top of the list. And if you're saying that's a weak area of my life, then what I would tell you is put down the book that somebody else told you to read and pick up a book on tracking. Pick up a book on strengthening what's wrong, strengthening your conversion rate. Look at tracking system. Read something that you know will help you. Does that make sense to everybody? So your weakness is very important. If you know you have a weakness, don't say, well, I don't want to do that because I don't know how. Guess what? YouTube is free. There's a lot of trainings online that are free. So if you don't know how to track, then I would suggest you start learning how to track so that when you make calls, you can know that you're getting better. Right? So decide what you want, right, for 2023. What do you want? I want to get better at tracking. I want to open more groups, right? And be precise. I'm being generic because we're on a, we got 30 minutes left on this call. So I'm being generic. But you have to be very specific. How many dials do you want to make? How many groups do you want to open? What size companies are you going to be looking for? Right? Are you strategically going to be opening groups and selling small business plans to these companies, not just doing whatever happens? Oh, I told them a small business plan because we started talking about small business. No. Are you going to initiate that conversation on both sides? Or are you not going to? What is going to be your action plan? What do you want? Because you need to write these things down on paper so you can start working on it. What is going to be different for 2023 when it comes to your action plan on getting better? And I don't care. No judgment on me on what it is going to be. That's totally up to you. I'm just telling you whatever it's going to be, it needs to be written down. Because this can't be another year that we go into and you go into this year and think that your business is going to get better because Legal Shield got better. Because for some of us, we live in this false world that every time Legal Shield say their numbers got better, you scream and holler, but you didn't participate in that. If Legal Shield makes more sales and your sales didn't go up, then you're not part of that success. So we need you to play a part by saying, so when the numbers go up, you can really be excited because your numbers went up, and that's part of why the numbers went up for the company. Did you open more groups this in January of 2023 than you did in January of 2022? Did you make more sales? If you're already making sales, but you're saying I'm going to concentrate on CDLP, are you making more CDL sales than you are non-CDL sales because you're concentrating on CDL? Did you bundle more? Did you sell all CDLs in January last year? Now this year you're selling CDL and small and family plans. What are you tracking? Is it getting better? Because Sharanda said something that was key a second ago when she was just talking about the numbers don't lie. I don't care how excited you get, the numbers don't lie. I got all these new prospects. I got all these companies lined up. I'm calling all these people. I'm getting I had a great conversation with somebody. Did you make a sale? Because guess what Legal Shield don't do? They don't pay you for great conversations. I promise you that. I've been here 14 years. Legal Shield is not going to send you a deposit because you had a good conversation with a prospect. If you don't close that prospect and send in an application, electronically or in paper, nothing's going to happen. Having more prospects is not going to make more money unless you convert those prospects. So what exactly do you want? Write those things down and set a deadline for every goal you have, right? I'm not going to get into SMART goals right now because most of us know what that is, but set a deadline. Don't say I'm going to open up more groups this year. So when are you giving yourself to? December 31st of 2023? What exactly does write more groups mean if you don't put a deadline on that? Are you going to write more groups per month? Are you going to make more calls per day? Let's look at short term. Are you planning on doing a blitz next week on your own because corporate's not doing one? Because trucking companies going to still be open. So are you going to blitz one day next week, even though Legal Shield may not be doing a blitz on Tuesday? Are you going to do your own on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or some other day while these trucking companies are still open, dropping off all these packages that people are sending all over the place because it's holiday season? Right? No excuse zone. So make a list of everything you could possibly think of that you want to do and then start eliminating. So the people who have done any goal setting with me, y'all know what that means, right? Brain dump. Right? Empty out the closet and only put back in there what you want. It's the same thing here, right? Everything that you think you want in 2023, write it down and then start prioritizing the things that are really important and then get rid of the nonsense. I don't really want that bad. Find you a few things to concentrate on and then create that as an action plan. And do not multitask on that. So the statistics on multitasking is this. Over 80% of the world attempts to multitask. They have some kind of multitasking activity that they do day to day, more than 80% of their population. But research says that only 2.5% of the population actually have the ability to multitask. And that's probably not you and I. So what that means is when you create this action plan, create the action plan at a size that you can actually do the stuff so that you don't have to multitask. Concentrate on one thing. But for once in your life, if you have never done this before, concentrate on a particular thing and do that thing. Legal Shield is a big company. For once, maybe say, you know what? All I'm going to do is go after trucking companies to open up trucking groups and sell the small business plan to the trucking company. So I'm going to bundle up the family and CDL, and I'm going to sell a company owner a small business plan. Just do that. Do that for 90 days and see if you just do that, your business grows, because you're not trying to get on every Zoom, participate in every meeting, and sell every plan of, known to man with the company. Let's see if you can just focus on, I'm going to do CDLP, which means I'm going to sell a family and CDL to the drivers, and I'm going to sell the business plan to the owner. And if the owner still drives, I'm going to sell a CDL family to the owner too. See if you can streamline your business, because guess what? If you concentrated on just that, you will make plenty of money. So if you're talking about you want to make all the money, right? I want to make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money with the small business plan and bundling that CDL and that family. And you're going to qualify for a performance club. And you're going to be on the leaderboard if you do that.
But in that process of making that decision, before you go to make that decision, you got to decide, like, who's your client? Like he said. So are you going to go in there to open that group? Are you going to focus on the small business plan? Are you going to say, well, just, you got to decide who's your client. Who's your client? So, he talked about the small business owner and, maybe some drivers. So now you got to find, are you targeting a certain number? Or are you just going to focus on that one guy? You got to decide, and you might say, well, they all need it. They do, but are you skilled enough? Because that's two different sales. You're selling one person here and you selling one person to share with others. It's two different types of sales, and you got to say, am I skilled enough? Am I there yet to talk to the owner so he can allow me to share this with his drivers? Or I'm skilled enough to talk to this owner operator who is just him, where I can talk about everything and he's the only one to make the decision, and my coverage can help him no matter what he chooses. So if I walk away with something, I'm going to sell something. But if you're not skilled enough to show the value proposition to the owner who has drivers, you might get stuck and don't sell nothing because you're not skilled to show the value proposition to just get past him. So you got to think about who's your ideal client, where you feel your strength is. And then when you figure out where your strength is, then you might have to juggle the onesie, twosies, the fives, the tens to see exactly where your strength is. If you're not closing the fives, the tens, and it's hard for you to get past maybe a gatekeeper or somebody who's assisting them, or he's too busy because he's in the truck too, maybe you need to focus on the one guy, because 9 times out of 10, the number that you research is going to be his number. And, he's out, there's nobody else to get through to. So with that, Dunbar just talked about, one thing I learned is that everybody couldn't be my client. Like when I went to employee benefits training, I took the notes to decide, okay, who do I really want to target? How skilled do I think I am? And where do I want to play at? Because if you don't figure some things out, you still going to be out there and the process is going to be longer. So I think you got to decide like who's your target, who you think you want to. I know you got to try before you have to try, the 5s, the 10s, the 1s, the 2s, but you got to decide to see where your strength lies. Okay, Dunbar, I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good. That's it. So those are important things though. Like again, whatever your aim is going to be, you have to understand your aim, right? So if you're saying, hey, I'm going if you can't get to small business owners, then you can't sell small business plans. So part of you saying this is what I'm going to do in 2023 is going to be about you understanding, can I do that? And how do you figure that out? Like Sharenda just said, by looking and saying, can I talk to this client? Can I process this client? Who am I looking for to make these sales? That's all part of you creating this action plan. Is you say, okay, I'm gonna do CDLP. Can I do CDLP right now? Is it a season that I can do that? I saw somebody put in there, hey, good idea, 90 days. You got to work your business in seasons. Some of us are so busy doing multitasking and doing so many things at one time that we're not doing anything efficiently. We're doing everything at 60 and 70% because we're trying to do all of these things at once. Instead of saying, let me learn how, right? So if I say I'm going to go after trucking companies, do you know if in 2023 all you did was go after trucking companies and you learned how to research and go into companies and talk to these drivers and talk to these owners and understand that, you would learn the language. How do you think Sharenda learned the language? How do you think the other people in this space that's learned the language when they didn't know it before? Because they keep doing it. But if you're doing CDLP on Monday, small business on Tuesday, right? Regular group on Wednesday, networking on Thursday, super Saturdays on Saturday, and then it's like you come back again, you get on this on Monday, and then you're on here for an hour and you only listen for 20 minutes and you only take 2 notes. 2024 come around, you still saying, where our research at?
You meet a driver.
How I research the company.
That's why you meet a driver and you meet a driver and you were gonna prospect him for the CDLP plan, but you just had got off a networking call and you decide, well, I'm gonna get this man, I'm gonna rescue him out this truck. That man like his job. Leave that man alone. You gonna recruit him.
You know what though?
You forget to say you're gonna recruit him. He know a lot of people. He know a lot of people. He know a lot of truckers. I'm gonna recruit him. I ain't gonna just sell him no plan. So you missed the sale from protecting the CDL because you done jumped to the recruiting, and now he like, I don't want to do that, man. Man, no, that ain't me. Now he's sour with you because he don't want to talk to you about nothing else because you done approached him because you trying to get him out of the truck, and this is what this man love to do. Instead of selling them and making him a good client so he could be a raving fan, you just got out that good networking call, and, and they told you to recruit somebody this month so you can double your points for the trip.
And listen, that's so spot on, because even though it's unintentional, that's exactly what happens when you keep on focusing on different things throughout the day. This is why choosing. So if you're saying, well, man, I'm a networker, dumber. Okay, well then do networking for 90 days. Don't get on this call. I don't care.
He still needs
to plan. It doesn't matter to me. It's your business. It's your business what you decide to do, because you can be successful in the different areas. But choose a place and run in that lane for long enough to see the success. Because that example you just gave, Sharenda, is the perfect example. I'm calling myself doing CDLP. I'm talking to a driver. I'm still getting on all this networking stuff because I don't want to let it go. I'm having, I can't not get on the networking stuff because I'm gonna feel bad. Somebody got a great networking story. Now you're trying to recruit your prospect, right? And then if you manage to, and don't let that person that you're talking to join the company and then recruit somebody, now you ain't even doing business solutions no more. You all excited about these 2 new people, and all you trying to figure out how you gonna create a plan and how they gonna make a list of their people, and then when that figures out, you go back to B2B, and you all over again a month and a half later. After these people have let you down, or whatever happens to those individuals, you go all the way back to B2B, and now you back rolling the ball up the hill again. Instead of letting that person be a customer, letting them turn you on to other drivers. Just like they can turn you on to somebody that you can recruit, they can turn you on to other drivers to sell a plant. They can turn you on to other companies to open up more groups. They can turn you on to other business owners to sell small business plans. I'm not telling you that you should recruit. What I'm saying is focus. Because if that's what you've been doing all this time and you're not where you need to be, then you already tried that and it don't work. So how about trying to focus on one thing? Even if you say, you know what, I got one for you. I ain't going to do CDLP. I'm going to do networking for the first 90 days. I ain't getting on this call no more. That's fine too, as long as your business grows when you do it. That's up to you what you decide you want to do for 90 days. But I'm telling you that if you don't make a decision to do something to create an action plan for it, in March of 2023, you're going to be just where you at or worse in 2020, just where you were or worse than you were in 2022 March. Because if you don't change the game by creating an action plan and sticking to it, then nothing is going to change for you. You got to make a decision to do those things. You got to make a decision to say, I am going to focus on a specific thing. It is very difficult to do networking and B2B and this and that. You can't do it. Can you sell a different plan? Yes. You can sell a small business plan when you focus on group. You can do that. But when you're trying to run networking and run B2B at the same time, and then some of you are doing that with a full-time job.
Ooh, child.
You're working 8 hours a day and traveling. Boom, and trying to do all that.
Ooh, Jesus.
Too much. Action plan. What do you focus on? Right? So it's about that. Taking those steps, and it's going to start writing it down, figuring out what you want, brain dump. You got to write out what you want to do. Write out all the things that you're saying you want, and then do a process of elimination. What is going to get you to where you want to be? Because there's a lot of stuff that I want to do tomorrow that's not going to get me to where I want to be at this time next year. So I'm going to have to eliminate those items off my list if they're not getting me to my goal. So what is going to be your action plan for 2023? 2023. What is going to be your action plan? Where are you going to focus your time? And for all my goal setters that's here tonight with us, what are you willing to get rid of? The hardest question you have to ask yourself first. What are you no longer going to do in 2023 to make room for the things that you're planning on doing in 2023? Because it's 24 hours in a day and you're already too busy. So if you're saying, I'm going to double my calls next year, I don't believe a word of it if you don't have something that you're taking off your calendar in order to do that. Because if you're struggling to make 30 calls a day right now, how are you going to make 60 if you don't take something off your calendar? What is your action plan going to be?
Honestly, when I made the decision to focus, like Marty teaches in level 1, choosing your major and your minor, the business became less stressful. I began to enjoy it. I wasn't chasing qualifications and incentives. They were coming, but I wasn't chasing them. And I just enjoy the process. I mean, I've never had a job since I've been connected with Legal Shield. When I started Legal Shield, I was unemployed, stay-at-home mom, and I haven't had a W-2 job in 12 years. I've been with Legal Shield almost 10. But when I got focused and chose my major and my minor, I love Legal Shield. It just was a stressful time trying to, run after this qualification and run after this incentive. And I was frustrated. But when I went to level 1, when they created that platform and really learned that it was truly two divisions of the company, and you can incorporate both of them. But if you stay on track in one of them and learn that skill, the other one comes into play. It really does. People are attracted to you when you're having success. So recruiting becomes easy when you're having success, or if you're the recruiter, you find those people that you recruit that really likes to make a sale. It just happens that way. But you can't check. What I learned is everybody you see is not a salesperson. Everybody you see is not a recruiter. It's not your decision to decide which one they're going to do. So, but when I learned to focus on my decision and what I wanted to do, I attracted those things that I needed in my business, whether it was a new recruit or a new business partner, a referral partner. But I was focused on what I was doing. And, I was mastering that. And if you haven't been to level 1 lately, you need to go. Marty does a great job of laying that out, and you just decide. Like Dunbar say, 90 days, give yourself, I think we give up. We start chasing this stuff, we'll do it for 2 weeks, right? The resolutions. 2 weeks come, man, but you done lost everything. Spend all your money on the new stuff. You give up. Like Dunbar say, we have to commit for 90 days. 90 days, 90-day run. I promise you, January, the company's going to kick off a 90-day run. You decide which track you're going to go on.
That's it. That's it. That's it. So, hold on, put my little thing over here. So, guys, action plan is important. And of course, we say all of that to say this. There's always something to come for those who want to be involved in something. Right? And I know it's no better year for me to do something for free for people. So what am I doing? Every Tuesday from the 27th to the 10th, December 27th, 2 days after Christmas, Tuesday at 8 o'clock from 8 to 8:45. The next Tuesday on the 3rd, the next Tuesday on the 10th. 3 Tuesdays in a row, I'm going to be doing a 45-minute training. Me and my good friend, Harold Branch. We're going to do 3 trainings, 45 minutes apiece every Tuesday. Not going to cost anything. It's free. I'll put the link in the chat. Stop procrastinating in 2023. That's what the training is going to be about. Stop procrastinating in 2023. Right? December 27th, January 3rd, and January 10th is going to be from 8 p.m. Eastern to 8:45 Eastern. 45 minutes. I'm a business coach. He's a life coach. We're going to talk about how to stop procrastinating in life and business in 2023. Hopefully that'll help you. It's not going to cost you nothing. So I'll put the link in the chat to register for that. If you guys want to register for it, it's going to be on Zoom. And it's just going to be about getting your mindset together and some exercises that you can do to not procrastinate. Because going into 2023, guys, how you start the year is how you end it most of the time. How you start the year is how you end it most of the time. So, when you get about midway through, if you ain't got your stuff together, then you start talking about, well, I'll wait until 2024. I'm going to get it together. I'm going to get it together next year. I know what's going to happen. What's going to happen in January. I'm going to go to my gym, and I ain't going to be able to find no equipment. I'm going to work out over here. I'm work out over here at the house for 30 days, and then the gym will be open. It's empty. Because by February, they're going to be done. Right? Don't let that happen with your business. Don't let that, right? Don't get all excited, like Sharon said, with the new year that, Legal Shield's going to do this big event. Networking and B2B side going to do these events for 2023. And then you're going to burn out, and then you're going to be right back to your regular old, I'm trying to perform at club. I'm trying to get my last few points in the last couple of days of the month. Same cycles. Instead of saying, boom, 2023 action plan, get myself Performance Club qualified pro by the 15th of the month. My time frame is the 1st to the 15th, not the 15th to the 30th. Right? I'm no longer going to drop out of executive director. right? I'm no longer going to drop out of a senior director. I'm going to stay in those positions. When I hit them, I'm going to stay there, right? I'm going to get my 50K ring or my 100K ring or whatever it is you're running for. I'm going to get that. I'm going to earn that income, right? I'm going to sell one small business plan a month. I'm going to open up one group a month. Whatever it is that you're planning on doing, strategize that thing. And don't, so what we're going to be talking about over the 3 weeks is we're going to talk about creating a game plan before the year starts. So the first week on the 27th, a few days before the year starts, we're going to talk about creating a game plan. We're going to talk about doing creative procrastination. Because we all procrastinate, right? Yes or yes? Put a yes in the chat if we all procrastinate. We're going to talk about how to creatively procrastinate by saying, I know I'm going to procrastinate, so let me procrastinate on some things that's not important. Let me procrastinate on TikTok, using TikTok. Let me procrastinate on watching this series I like to binge on. Let me procrastinate on some things that's not helping me get to my goal. So we're going to do some creative procrastination as a part of what we're going to be doing on this 3-week little series that we're going to be putting together so that you guys know how to slice and dice your tasks and make sure you can break things down and utilize that doggone calendar. Utilize that calendar the best of your ability. Your calendar better be your boss. 2023. Your calendar better be your boss. See, my boss here know that the only boss that's over her is my calendar, and that's because she on it. She like, that calendar gonna be your boss as long as you let me put my stuff on there first. Make sense? Your calendar better be your boss, because that's what's gonna get you to where you want to get at, right? Easy to communicate with that accountability partner in that circumstance. So I'm gonna get this link on here. I'm sure Sharanda got some more stuff she wants to say. Well, I'm getting this link on here. Sharanda, you doing your call this week?
Yeah, I think I did. Kurt wanted to hang out. Yeah, we are. Yep. I think and I'm right, Kurt? That was your call, right? Yeah, Kurt wanted to hang out, so I told him we would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll be ready. I'll be right there. You bet.
So we're gathering on Thursday. That's probably be the last one. But so we're gathering on Thursday, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So I am going to put the stop, and I'm going to get it on YouTube too. So for those that are listening from YouTube, I'm going to get it on there too. Stop procrastinating. How do I spell procrastination? All right, there you go. Stop procrastinating in 2023. So when you click that link to register, it's going to allow you to register for all 3 weeks at once, so you don't have to go in 3 times. Remember, when you register, Zoom is going to send you a registration link, like send you a way to get in. I'll also put up here, just so you guys have it, the meeting ID and password, just in case the link is not working for you because you can't click the link because you're on some kind of device where it won't let you, because I know that happens sometimes. So that's the meeting ID, and the password is going to be all caps. The password is going to be take action. Take action. So that's the meeting ID, and the password, take action, right? And that's the link. So get yourself registered for that. Remember, it's a free event, so it's only going to hold 100 people. We may run it on YouTube Live. I'm not sure whether we're going to do that or not. I need to talk to my partner about that. But I do know that the Zoom will hold 100 people. So as long as if we do go over that, just make sure you on early. I don't know whether we will or not, because it's holiday season, so people get busy. So people may or may not be on, but we doing it. We're gonna get people ready for the new year. So that's where we at, guys. Yes, it should say 8 p.m. So if it says 8 a.m., that's just something I gotta edit. Sorry about that. It is definitely 8 p.m. Let me see. Let's see. Yep. Thank you, whoever caught that. Yep, 8 p.m. So I just changed it. And if you already registered, you should get an email from Zoom that's going to tell you that the time changed to 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. Eastern time. Not to be confused with Central or Mountain or Pacific. Eastern time, 8 to 8:45, 45 minutes. Clear your calendar for an hour, because y'all know I don't shut up at the time I'm supposed to. So y'all know that well enough. So just clear your calendar for 9 to 9 o'clock, because y'all know I'm gonna keep talking. It's gonna be 8:53, and I'm gonna be saying 5 more minutes. Yeah. All right, guys. So remember January 14th, Saranda Ivy is going to be training with Alan Roman for the CDLP certification in the new year. Her accountability call is going to be happening on Thursday, so make sure you get plugged in on that. Remember, work around those holidays, even if you're saying, hey, I'm going to spend a little bit of time working close to the holidays. If it's just you getting yourself set up, get your research done, create a list of hundreds of prospects to go into that new year, right? So spend some time doing that if you need to, but keep yourself busy. We look forward to talking to you guys all in the new year. Sharon, I'll see you guys this week, and some of y'all I'll see on probably something else that I'm doing maybe with you before the end of the year. But on the 27th, all that's registered, you guys will see me and Harold Branch 2 days after Christmas, and we'll start that 3-week series to get you guys really pumping into 2023, going in there full speed ahead with some exercises and some worksheets and some things you can do to help your mindset. So yeah, that's what's happening. So Shred, you got anything before we go?
No, happy holidays, safe holidays, guys. Enjoy the season. See you in the new year. Get some rest, plan to review. Make 2023 your best year yet.
Yeah, good stuff. So for those that missed the link and all of that kind of stuff, you guys will get an email here in just a minute, and it'll have the information from the deal. It'll be inside the email, so you can click on it there and register if you haven't already. And don't forget to look for that link. Look for that email from Zoom after you register. They're gonna send you an email with the actual link. So put that on your calendar, right? Add that to your calendar so that it's there, and you're ready to go on Tuesday the 27th. All right, guys, it's been such a pleasure. Love working with you guys. Love seeing you guys. Looking forward to 2023, right? Doing it all over again with we're getting people trained up on the CDLP and going through some other things. So you guys have a fantastic evening. And yes, YouTubers, I am going to drop the same information on there too as well for you guys.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Thank you, Mr.
Happy
Dunbar.
holidays.
Happy
Thank you
birthday,
all.
Miss
Holidays,
Ivy.
everybody.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
Mr. Dunbar. Happy
Happy
Merry
holidays and Merry
Christmas.
Christmas, everybody.
Happy holiday.
Be safe, guys. Be safe. Be safe.
Likewise.
Yes.
all right, all
Good.
right, all
Be
right.
safe.
Live.
Please
Good night,
be safe.
everybody.
Live live.
Season's greetings. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Kwanzaa.